Hello and welcome back to the Marvel Strike Force new player experience. This is a line of videos dedicated to brand new players into this game. And there's so many different characters and so many different things in this game. You might be a little overwhelmed at worst and wind up using your resources in the wrong spot. And I'm here to help you out. So I made a video of all 300 characters or whatever it is in less than 10, 12 minutes, whatever it was. And I just did quick yes and no. Build this character, don't build this character. And I wanted to expand on that. So I'm going to be breaking it down by gear selections. There's 5 different type of gear types. And this one is going to focus on mystic characters. So let's get into it. When we go in, I already have it sorted by mystic. And the first one's actually probably the most difficult one for me to give you a yes or a no on whether to upgrade them or not upgrade them. Quicksilver is amazing. I love him. I'm a free-to-play guy, and it's took a lot of resources to do him at cost of doing other characters because he takes dark diamond credits and dark promotion credits to get his red stars and to get his diamonds. Now, as a free-to-play player, those are very, very scarce. So this probably cost me getting Super Scroll up to 7 red and some diamonds on him. But I love this guy. He's just so good. He takes so many turns. He's got the speed mechanic. Takes 2 turns at a time. It rewinds people. He's just amazing. So as a new player, it's hard for me to recommend that you do it because it's such a resource sink. And he is a luxury item, but for me, it's the one nice thing I got for myself. So Ghost Rider Robbie, I think I said, you might not have to go crazy on him. But he's such a good player or character, and he's on such a good team. And he's actually used it needed for a legendary for Rogue, but when she's a horseman, which unlocks Apocalypse. So yes, do it. Yeah, do it. But the thing with the horseman is you don't need a 7-star horseman to unlock a 7-star Apocalypse. You need a certain gear level, you need a certain ISO level. So when you're looking at the Scourges, you don't need 7-star versions of them. Remember that when you're building for those Scourges. Spider-Man Noir is part of the skill meta raid team because he is a dual tag. So he's also skill and he's mystic. So he's going to take mix and match gear, but yes, build them up. Spider Society is raid meta. You're going to use them every day. They're one of the newest raid teams. Two new ones are being brought out right now, but it's going to be a while before he gets replaced. And he's good for plug and play, for Crucible and for everything. So he's fast. He's build them up, use them. Deathpool is an MSF original character, so they're always going to find a way to put her back into the metal. Right now, people are using her in the Mystic raid. Plugged her into the Bifrost team to do an energy dump. That's going to be gone soon. That team's getting replaced in a month or something like that. But yeah, build her up. You won't feel bad putting resources into them. And when I say put some resources in them, there's some people are going to tell you to take all the way up, but put some resources. It's like blue gear, green gear, purple gear, even orange gear at this point aren't really difficult for new players to get. Even teal gear is opened up once you start earning some raid credits. You could buy it right up. So you don't have to feel like you're not going to kill yourself making a mistake or feeling bad putting it into someone that all of a sudden gets taken out of the meta. Gear's fairly like the lower level. Especially is so much easier to get. Don't sweat it, especially early on. But yeah, Deathpool. Vol is someone that I don't think you should. She is a good character. She is an MSF original. She does have an exposed mechanic, which they really haven't used too much in this game besides her team. But so yeah, again, don't feel too bad about putting resources in. But they're immediately coming out of they're getting replaced in the raids. But so. Not something to prioritize early. Maybe I'd even wait for a rework. I know you need Hero Asgardian or Asgardian for I think like the Red Hulk Scourge or something like that. But again, you don't need them at 7 stars. You just need to do enough to get Apocalypse. So Spider Weaver. And here comes another MSF original. I love her and more kit based more than power at this point. I mean the power is still there, but. She causes other people just to miss. It's just like an auto dodge for the whole team with her mechanics, and she just got great mechanics and another MSF original that they'll just keep reworking and keep doing. So put some resources into Weaver when you get her. Dormammu, Dark Dimension character, has good use, and I think is gonna keep good use moving forward. It doesn't have to be built up as big as mine to get the use. So, and especially early on, once you do get like Dormammu, you're going to enjoy them. So don't go crazy on them. That's a little bit too high what I have right here. And same thing with Dr. Doom. We went over this because he's also dual trait. Went over this in tech. You don't necessarily need him too high, but he has a great mechanic with his ultimate. So his ultimate, and if you get his ultimate off, he takes 3 turns and he takes somebody for a ride. That gives them 3 turns too, and that's your character with the highest power or attack on your team. But it depends if the character, like if you have another character with offense up, it's going to matter like at that second who has the most power, not who has the highest base stats. So remember that when you're using his ult. Silver Surfer just got a rework. Technically, he is going to be part of the new arena meta, which would make him like the most important character in the game, right? But he's going to get subbed out of his team immediately. Early on, because the new power meta that they have going on, any characters that come out after Annihilators, which Annihilators are being released now as of the recording of this video, are going to have like 30% higher stats than everyone else to supposedly keep like the kits less complicated as the game grows and stuff like that. So he was one of the reworks as part of this new power meta. So he does have, some higher stats than others. So and especially early on, he's very easy to get. He's going to be in the Blitz store right away, so you can build him up a little bit early, but don't go too crazy on him. I don't even think he's going to make his own arena team. Morgan Le Fay, Horseman. The Horseman used to be the greatest thing ever. That's why I have 7 Red, which was a dark promo character. That's what I used all my dark promotion credits on when she first came out. I went hard on her. You don't build her up too high now, just high enough to get Apocalypse. That's all you really got to worry about as a new player. Beta Ray Bill. Sorry, Beta, but you just got kicked out of the meta. They were the meta raid team, but they're getting replaced, so no on the Beta. Same thing with Sylvie and Teen Loki. They were both on that team that's getting replaced. I know like I said, you do need some Asgardian for a Scourge, but I'd wait till you get there and see if you can get around it. And a lot of times they rework those Scourges too. I know they just redid it, but they'll make it easier again. Wong is now a no with Scarlet Witch. They're on that Darkhold team. You don't have to build them for Apocalypse anymore, so you don't have to build Scarlet Witch. You're welcome. Starbrand, Starnak, he's on the Out of Time team, and he's needed for one of the really good legendaries that's out right now. So build him up. You don't have to go too crazy. Just do it enough to get the legendary. Black Panther and Black Panther 1 million. I loved using them in their heyday, but they are out of their heyday, so don't bother. Same thing with Strange. I don't even take them up to 7-star. Don't build them. You don't need to. Now, Xerxes and Icarus. Icarus is probably hiding behind my head. They should be higher on my roster because they were a power couple, as in they need to be paired together, Xerxes and Icarus, in order to really work. Icarus is pretty much useless without Xerxes. So, but originally when they came out, they were like power characters where they were destroying everyone. And they also have a speed mechanic where they rewind the other team. Now their power is starting to fade a little, like their power's still there, but the power is fading, and now with all the new characters coming out with the new power meta, it's going to fade even more, but they still have that rewind capability. So mine should be higher, and you should probably bring them up too. Agatha's a skip. She's on the Darkhold team that you don't need anymore. Cosmic Ghost Rider does have plug-and-play value outside of his own team, and he's also needed for a legendary, so do it. You don't have to go crazy with it, but you can if you want. He's not a terrible character. America Chavez has a war mechanic. I have her built up from when Young Avengers, you had to do them to get Rogue, and I wanted to get 7-star Rogue on her first pass on Scourge. And so, but now she gives 25% speed turn to start a match in war to adjacent characters. So she could change the entire complexion of a war defense by speeding people up. So it is an interesting mechanic, but she doesn't have to be built to do it. It's in her passive. Thor's a no. Cloak, New Warriors are just dying. They're a dead team in Crucible at this point in the meta, and they're going to fade even more. So Cloak's going to be a no. I loved using him in earlier Dark Dimensions when the game first came out, but or not first came out, but first couple years. But I mean, not anymore. He's done. Ebony Maw, the same thing with the Black Orders. You got to be more than Thanos on this board. An interesting thing last year, when last year's anniversary, they made like little clip videos for each one of us, like personalized, that showed you how many launches you've been in and who's done the most damage and how many blitz wins. Like they did like a little feature video that was kind of cool. Thanos has done the most damage out of anybody on my entire roster over the life of it, but now he's kind of dead in the water. You can still use him a little bit end game if you want, because he's got an energy dump and stuff like that. But at this point, as a new player, I wouldn't build him up. There's a new Thanos coming that you're going to want to build up. And the same thing with Maw. Don't bother. Adam Morlock, he's part of those cockroaches of the Infinity Watch. I've been saying this in every single one of the videos, calling them cockroaches. They had safeguard and immunity on spawn, which made them obnoxious. And they needed to be to beat Black Order, because when Black Order came out, they were just too good for too long, so they needed something to beat it, so they made Infinity Watch. So now, a couple years later, they won't die. They're still around. That's why they're the cockroaches. But there's starting to be mechanics in the game from newer characters that could either remove Safeguard, or not remove it, lower the count of Safeguard, which basically makes it disappear, or never allowed them to spawn with it in the first place. So that team I wouldn't build them now. They had a very, very long life, but I think it's pretty much over. Loki, the only reason you use him is because he gives a 15% speed bonus on spawn to Mystic controllers, and Xerxes is a Mystic controller, and if you get her to go first, then she rewinds the other team even further. So he does have some use, but that's really the only use you're really getting out of him now, because that team's getting replaced in the raids. Ghost Rider and Morbius went together on a team, but now I still use them in every war, but I would not build them now. I use them to beat small heroes for hire, so don't even bother. Dagger, same thing with the New Warriors. That team is dying. Don't bother. And Gwenpool, both of them. Elsa, there was someone mentioned something about they found something in a data mine related to her. I don't, until we get anything either officially released or anything, just wait and see but keep it on your radar if you hear something about Elsa. Maybe she will be a build later, but now she's not. Nico's on the A-Force team. I still use them in war, but don't build them up now. There's no point. There's going to be better use of your resources. Voodoo, same thing. I still use them, but you shouldn't. Hela's part of the Undying team, and this is a team that they're releasing over the course of a couple years. She was originally part of the Asgardian team or whatever, but now they have like this undead Undying team where they have Zombie Iron Man and Hela and Zombie Juggernaut, and they're gated characters that are hard to get. They just release them, and then you don't see them again for 6 months or a year to recruit them again, and it's released every Halloween. They introduce a new character, so we're only up to 3 so far. So we got 2 more coming. That's another couple years. This team's going to be an amazing war team. It's going to be relevant for a while. Mine should be bigger. Mordo is my avatar. I love Mordo, but don't build him. More Asgardian, Mighty Thor, Heimdall. Don't build him. Iron Fist. Don't build him. There's going to be a lot of no's now. Juggernaut's dead in the water. Yondu is no. M'Baku's a no. Strange technically is part of Secret Defenders, but don't build him. He's the guy plugged out of the team. And if you are going to use him, he's fine to use at that level, because you're just using him for team synergy. Ultimus should be up. Ultimus is, with Surfer, the reworks for the new arena meta. And I'm actually curious to see if Ultimus makes the final cut of the arena team once it's all said and done. But he's a good character now. He was the laughingstock forever. Like once you get max stars on a tune, they give you Ultimus credits, and we used to just call it Ultimus food because it was garbage and it wasn't worth anything. Now Ultimus is usable, and he's cheap to get his red stars because he's a dark promo guy. So, and it's cheap enough to max him out. So I would say go with some Ultimus once you get him. Elektra's a no, Nobu's a no, Ronin's a no, White Tiger's a no. Moon Knight supposedly is getting a rework. I'll believe it when I see it. Wait for things to get announced, because you never know when they pull the okey doke on you, even though we voted for him to be the rework. You never know. Minions, no Hand Assassin, no Sentry, no Sorceress, minion. Thor is part of that Nowhere team for war offense. And no thank you. Absorbing Man is usable. You could use him in Crucible. I could see him going up if you're a person that wants to focus on Crucible, and a lot of people in this game do want to focus on Crucible. So I could see some use being out of him. I wouldn't prioritize him number one, but no. And Mr. Negative, I don't know if Marvel Strike Force realizes that if you don't max out Mr. Negative, they keep giving him to you on the web store, his credits, and just giving me more Ultimus food. I don't know if they realize that or not, but they keep giving me 5 shards of him every day. It's part of an Underworld team. It's a war offense team. It actually is a good war offense team, but no, don't do it. Don't do it. Black Panther Shuri, if there are some endgame players actually watching this video and they see, why the hell don't you have Black Panther Shuri? It's I took a Brexit break, and they'll understand what that means. So I didn't play for a couple weeks. I'll get her soon. Once you do get her, bring her up. It's part of the Illuminati. It's part of a good Crucible team. Ares, I don't know what I'm going to do with him. He's like a plug-and-play war character, so I'll probably build him. He's got great stats. He does good things, so I'm probably going to build him up once I get him. Also, why I'm behind on him is that break. Captain Britain. Captain Britain, who knows when we're going to get him? He's the reason why a lot of... I'm not going to get into that. Captain Britain's good. Once you get him, bring him up. Who knows when we're going to get him. Mephisto, best character in the game. It's going to take you a long time to get him. But, yeah, do it. #1 character in the game. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you. I'm out.